Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cimientos 2020. We're very happy that you're joining us for this reading of In Congress by Tony Manzo. I'm gonna just briefly introduce Cimientos. Cimientos is a play development program that has given hundreds of playwrights the foundation to explore their vanguardia through developmental workshop panels and stage readings. Of course, welcome from IATI Theater. My name is Miguel Valderrama, co-hosting this with Lisa Loaiza. And I'm gonna say that this is our 20th season, and of course, due to current health concerns, we are hosting these readings using the Zoom platform. But we also want to remind everyone that you can follow the reading live on Facebook too. You can share it. We hope you can share it with everyone so that we can get more people to see it. We also want to be broadcasting this not live, but we want to save it so on YouTube you'll be able to also see it in a later time. The link to join via Zoom is posted on Facebook and our website, so do not hesitate to do it if you have the time. Like I say, today's play, it's In Congress by Tony Manzo. So I welcome Tony, who's also joining us, and he will be speaking at the end of this. And also it's being directed by Jennifer Ortega. She also will be joining us pretty soon, if not already, and she'll be talking at the end where we can debrief a little bit about the reading. Today's actors, we have Andrea, Lynn, Green, we have Sophie, Sorenson, and we also have Derrick, Peterson. Before we begin, let me remind everyone that you can post a comment of your questions on Facebook. Right? Comments and questions are welcome at any time during the reading. If you are on Zoom, you also can use the Q&A option. We will read all these questions and comments at the end, hopefully, so we have a nice conversation to end up with this reading. Finally, IATI Theater is a nonprofit organization, and every actor is being compensated for their work tonight. So if you want to support our theater, please visit IATI.theater.org and donate if you can. This is really, really important, and I cannot stress enough how important and how much these help us to stay afloat during these times, especially. So without further ado, welcome to Cimientos 2020. This is In Congress by Tony Manzo.
In Congress by Tony Manzo. A hotel room in Manhattan. It contains a couch, a coffee table, a desk. The bed is in a separate room off stage. The remains of lunch, a plate and silverware are on the desk. Late afternoon. Jack wanders restlessly while talking on his phone.
What else? He won't bring it to vote. I'll abstain if he does. Next, HR 49C is in Rules Committee. That too is in Rules. Do your homework, Kevin. What else? I'll address it if I win the election. Good. Tell the clerk I want 20 minutes to speak in support of the amended bill. Yes, I saw the polls. Thanks for telling me my problems, Kev.
There's a knock at the door.
It's open. Gotta go. Tomorrow, morning flight. See you then. Jen. My God, how long it's been?
Forever.
You look beautiful. Am I allowed to say that?
Only if it's true.
You're a wife now? A mommy? Besides the glorious career?
Neither.
Boyfriend?
A few.
Only a few?
Actually, none.
No time for that sort of thing, right? They're so sticky, relationships, so time-consuming. Then they leave and want the house.
How are you, Congressman?
Congressman?
Jack.
I'm fine. Frantic. The kids are in college, so broke too.
And your wife? Nora?
Laura. She's leaving and wants the house.
Sorry.
Don't be. It's amicable and long overdue. Sit, please. I knew this day would come. I'm proud of you, Jen, truly.
I had the best teacher.
Can I get you something? Coffee?
No thanks, I stopped on the way.
Forgive the question. My intuition is telling me something I can't quite hear. What do you want? The truth.
1,200 words by Wednesday.
Is that all? No other motive?
I hate to stand in the way of your paranoia, Jack, but you're an assignment to me now. I'm a reporter.
This can't be a puff piece. They'd have sent a hack.
We're running profiles in advance of the election.
Do they know our history?
They know what I told them.
How will you put it?
Full disclosure, the reporter worked for Congressman Iannelli after her senior year at college, or words to that effect.
A vague full disclosure. I want permission to edit and approve copy before publication.
Fat chance.
Are we on or off the record?
On, unless you tell me otherwise.
In which case, anything I say will not see print. I want your word of honor.
Hand over heart.
If I remember correctly, that's not one of your more sensitive organs.
Ooh, the congressman scores a point.
I didn't mean that. Sorry. You've done something with your hair. It looks different.
I wash and brush it now.
Big improvement.
Gee, thanks.
And that outfit.
I wear dresses now too, Jack. It's been 5 years.
Well, you've certainly come up in the world. I hear you're leaving New York for DC.
It's a rumor.
One of your colleagues in Washington couldn't take the horrors of sobriety. His spot covering national is open. Rumor?
That's true.
Do you want the job?
Very much.
You cover city council, right? You're a policy wonk.
It's a stop on the way.
And this is an audition piece. Show him what you can do with a hairbag politician like me.
I asked for the assignment.
Good. We had some fun, huh? Do you miss that time with me? My first campaign when there was nothing to lose?
I miss the clarity. I believed in you. We all did.
The past tense as a weapon. Go on.
You have vision and purpose. You ticked all the right boxes, so the work was never too hard or the hours too long. And we won, didn't we? Against great odds, we won.
You could have come to DC with me. Congressional aide, then chief of staff, I offered.
Begged.
Did you see the polls?
Yesterday's Quinnipiac has you ahead 6 points.
Plus or minus 5, 3 weeks before the election, and the numbers won't budge. They need a push. Is your paper endorsing me?
I don't know.
Come on, lift the sheet a little. You know how to do that for me.
The editorial board makes those decisions.
Your reporting informs their decisions.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I taught you better. Unremitting self-assertion is the only way a woman can ever hope to succeed.
My work counts, yes. But we're news. We're separate. You know that.
Jack stands, checks watch, crosses to scotch.
How about a drink? It's 5:30. Already, I'm 2 under par.
Not now, thanks.
My opponent, Golden Boy, had a fundraiser in town last week.
I covered it. My first.
I know.
Did you read the piece I wrote?
Who was there?
Did you read it?
I'm ignoring the question, as you may have noticed.
All the big corporate donors were there, the cream of the crop.
Cream as in thick and rich. What'd you think of him?
Not much. If he ever had an original thought, it probably died of loneliness. The guy's as shallow as spit on a rock, and still the crowd loved him, applauded every other lie.
They love him because they bought him. Corporate donors can't think higher than their wallets. What'd he say?
Nothing. But he's so impressive you forget he's not making any sense.
Policy.
Less than nothing. Lots about patriotism, the greatest country in the world, and rah rah blah. He wore American flag pins on both lapels.
Figures. Next, he'll stick a pole up his ass and wave himself. He's stealing my independence. He bewitches them with bullshit. The common man. Did he mention his father was a plumber and his mother cleaned houses?
Twice.
My father drove a cab. My mother worked in a bakery. You don't hear me bragging.
Jack pours another drink.
You look a mess, Jack.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Jen stands seductively close. She takes his glass, has a sip, and hands it back to him.
Have more. I'll look better.
You could lose.
I'm well aware.
This doesn't help. Turns brain to mush, wrecks the system. You'll wind up sleeping in the weeds.
First of all, smarty pants, I have a weed allergy. Second of all, I don't have a system. I have a wobbly alliance of failing glands. They like booze. I should deny them a last wish.
Drink up. I'm waiting.
Who killed this story?
It's on hold. We're looking for proof.
There's no proof. He said, she said, and the she is obviously a nut.
I don't think so. I got a pretty obvious, wide obvious zone.
If I did what this woman said I did, my mother would have jumped out of her grave and chased me down Pennsylvania Avenue with a rolling pin.
What's your point?
I'm in office years. I've met thousands of people, and not once have I been touched by scandal.
You never got caught. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm wondering how we had such a long and loving relationship.
We never got caught.
That had absolutely nothing to do with it.
It's true.
True for who? You talk about us like you weren't even there.
Oh, I was there for every speech at every rally and in every hotel room in New York.
Bodily. Emotionally, I don't know anymore.
It was the most exciting experience of my life. Nothing before or since has even come close. I owe you, Jack. You gave me a chance and a direction, and for that, I will always be grateful.
Thank you, Jen. That means a lot to me. You mean a lot to me.
Then we almost got caught. And what did you do?
Me? I didn't do anything. Why, you think I did something?
I know you did something.
What did I do?
Jen takes out a pad and pencil.
I'd like to go on record with a question. Congressman Iannelli,
Put away that stupid pencil and tell me what I did.
you didn't do anything, said so yourself.
I was guessing.
You have your version of events, I have mine. My memory returned the truth, yours conveniently flopped. Let's leave the past behind and work, okay?
Okay, fine. You want to work? We work. You got 20 minutes. Take out the pencil.
It's out. See? Regarding recent allegations about unwanted sexual...
No comment. 19 minutes, and don't expect good answers, which means your 1,200 words won't be worth the paper they won't print it on. And that job in DC, forget. You'll spend the rest of your life yawning at city council.
Finished?
For now.
The majority whip called your bill to strip federal interest from student loan debt the steaming pile of doomed legislation we've come to expect from Congressman Iannelli.
That's not a question.
Would you care to respond to this remark?
No.
Jack, why do you think I asked for this assignment?
For the same reason you're wearing that dress. To torture me.
That's just the sort of goofy notion you would have.
Women torture men. It's an impulse passed down in the blood from the mother. This is very well documented.
By whom?
Men. Plus, you have your eyes on a prize. I have no problem with naked ambition, but when you accuse me of destroying our relationship, then range me with perverts and rapists? No, never.
Congressman Iannelli, why are you being such an asshole?
How could you believe her? You know me, we practically live together.
I'm not paid to believe anyone.
I want a straight answer.
If we find proof you touched that woman against her will, I will make it my career to crucify you.
I'm sure you would. Who killed the story?
It's on hold. I did, indirectly. A kind of document came into my possession. I showed it to the managing editor.
Show it to me.
Can't. It doesn't prove your innocence, doesn't prove anything.
I'm a Catholic school kid, Jesuit trained. When we fall, we land right next to the freaking altar. I paid twice for my sins, and she ain't one of them.
Was I?
A sin? No, you weren't a sin, and no great blessing either, as it turned out. I tried to contact you, I don't know how many times. Nothing. Not a birthday card, a Merry Christmas.
I wrote a letter to explain.
I didn't get it.
I didn't send it.
Maybe that's why. Give me the gist. Better late than never.
My understanding of our relationship has changed since then. I've changed.
Didn't feel like it when you were panting on me before.
I was breathing.
Jen, a relationship doesn't just end. Separations are never as sharp as that. I'm still arguing with my father. He died 20 years ago.
You have these vivid relationships with the dead, Jack? I'd get some help if I were you.
I don't need help. I need from you answers.
Where would you be if I stayed?
That's the opposite of an answer.
Right now, where would you be?
You serious? You want to play make-believe?
Indulge me.
Okay. First, we consider my current situation for ironic comparison. I'm losing the election to an imbecile. My wife is leaving me for a podiatrist who's a bigger imbecile than the other imbecile, and in a few weeks I'll be unemployed. Now for the good news. Thank God I don't have my health. Shooting back pain suggests any number of fatal diseases, so my suffering can't last much longer.
You had back pains when we met. They're from standing.
Maybe I should see the podiatrist, huh? Excuse me. When you're finished with my wife's vagina, would you mind checking my feet?
You're impossible.
Where are you going?
I need a drink. There's no ice.
I called an hour ago. I think they lost the recipe.
Jen pours a drink. Sips.
What happened to your marriage? Off the record.
You want the truth?
If it's convenient, sure.
It's not. The truth is a massive inconvenience. It forces people to think.
You don't have to answer the question, Jack. I really don't care.
No. For you, I'll answer. Bunions.
Bunions?
She deformed her toes in high heels and found love with a foot doctor. I deformed myself running for Congress and met you. Different injuries, same tragic result.
Oh, you are a double rainbow.
You caught me at a bad time. I'm conscious.
I asked for this assignment because I still believe in you and want to help. But we can't seem to get further than our past. Maybe it's my fault, maybe it's yours. Suffering does addle the brain.
There's nothing wrong with my brain.
I'll beg off the profile. They'll send Davidson. He's a solid reporter. He'll do you justice.
No. Take out the pencil. You're getting that job in DC.
I'll find another way. Persistence, right? You taught me that. And fidelity to a cause greater than oneself. Another lesson. Honoring the will of the people. Yet another. There is no higher calling than a chance to improve the human condition. Sincerity and integrity are twin pillars of a life rightly lived.
Stop quoting me.
Ring a bit hollow, do they?
They worked, and my record speaks for itself.
Every other piece of progressive legislation that crossed your desk got stalled, neutered in committee, or choked until dead.
Interest-free student loans is my bill.
After Golden Boy put it in his platform, I worked so hard getting you into Congress. We all did. What happened to you?
I didn't have a nose for the deal. If I didn't have a nose for the deal, they'd have sat me in a corner and put a pretty bow in my hair. A certain amount of give and take is part of the game. This news to you, Jen? You were raised by poodles?
It is not a game.
Part of the process.
We expected you to honor the promises you made to us as a candidate, and you didn't.
Because it was not possible. Try it sometime. Put yourself in a room with 435 hard grabbers all wanting a piece of the pie, and let's see how many crumbs you can bring home. Run for Congress. I dare you. We had a wrestler in office, a bodybuilder, a crummy actor, more drunks, thieves, and liars than you can shake a stick at. Hell, a journalist would fit right in.
She grabs her bag and crosses to exit. Jack dashes to cut her off.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Look what you're doing.
What?
You're physically preventing me from leaving.
Because I don't want you to go.
You're supposed to let me go, you moron.
If I let you go, you think you'll come back?
If I said no, would you still let me go?
Of course.
Then why ask the question?
Because I don't want you to go.
Are you gonna get the fuck out of my way?
He steps aside. She doesn't move.
I didn't mean what I said. Sorry.
You said that before.
This time I mean it.
You didn't before?
Not as much as I do now.
Jen crosses back into the room.
Ah, you laughed. It's so obvious you still love me. Say something. You'll find your voice is husky with lust.
Policy or family first?
She pulls out her phone.
There's only so long you can suppress your emotions, Jen.
I think family first.
The mind sublimates what it thwarts. Passion becomes corrosive. That's very dangerous.
Do you get this crap from Walt Disney or one of his elves?
I state facts as I see them. If you wish to live a lonely and pathetic life, that's your decision.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Here's a fact you may have missed. A poll this morning had you losing the race. Your little lead has vanished. Poof.
Is that so?
Very much so, yes.
Well, slap my ass and call me Sally.
2 terms in office, 4 years to do some good in the world, wasted. I'm getting that job in DC with or without your help. Let's go. Family. I'll record.
Show me a picture of your boyfriend first.
Boyfriend? I told you I don't have one.
You were lying.
I was not lying.
Oh, yes, you did. You lied right to my face. Explain yourself.
How do you know about him?
I didn't.
Son of a bitch. It's taken me years to develop the evil little skills you have at your fingertips.
A God-given talent.
That's him.
He's hideous.
He isn't hideous. He's a chef.
A fancy one in a fancy restaurant.
He has a little place downtown. A bunch of us go there after work for spaghetti and meatballs. One night, everyone got the usual 2 meatballs. I got 5. The next week, I got 10. So I asked to see the chef.
Do you love him?
You have no problem asking direct personal questions, do you?
Correct. Do you love him?
It's not like that with us. We hang out together. We have fun. He's good for me.
Is that what we did? Hang out?
No.
And I'm the one who wasted all these years. Well done. I hope you're better managing your career than you are your life.
I'm doing an excellent job managing my life, and I sure don't need advice from someone who's made a career of ruining his. I have a purpose. I have a plan, and I've accomplished every goal I've set for myself. Can you make that claim?
You've gotten very picky in your late youth.
Picky? That's a mother word.
Intolerant. It's an occupational hazard for journalists, like a mailman's stoop or a truck driver's hemorrhoids. You pin us to a grid of right or wrong, good or bad, and judge. The practice corrupts. Reduce the world to black and white, pal, and that's all you'll ever see in it. Am I getting through to you?
You had me at hemorrhoids.
You weren't this judgmental when we met. What happened to you? That's the
Jen
question.
drains the glass and pours another.
We'd watch you from the wings when you gave those first speeches, praying you'd make a good impression. And you did most of the times, in the beginning. Then all the time, every speech, man, you'd knock it out of the park. We died watching you up there, Jack. Your tie undone in a crumbled collar, hair messed, and a big heart beating inside the shambles. You didn't refer to notes, never looked down. It was straight from the heart, passion. Not performance, passion. We'd have run into cannon fire for our hero, and I would have led the charge. What happened to me? You happened.
Yeah, so you grew up. What do you want me to do? Fall down, chew the carpet? I never lied. I never misrepresented myself. And I defy you to find one principle of good governance I raised in a stump speech that I don't hold true today.
That's not the point.
We had no backing party, no campaign experience, and no money. I used what I learned as the assistant DA. I made a strong case for myself. I won. And 2 years later, on my record, I won again.
Your opponent got indicted for swindling 150 grand from a cancer charity.
That helped.
To the victor.
You invented me, condemned me for failing ridiculous expectations and left. I'm no hero, Jen. I never was. I'm just a guy trying to do the right thing and who hits an occasional brick wall in the process. Forgive me for being human.
Hitting a brick wall now and then I can see, but that's all you do in Congress. You hit walls that don't even exist.
She approaches him.
A motion came out of committee last month and stalled on the speaker's desk. I'd like to bring it to a vote. I'd like to have it brought to a vote.
So much for objective reporting.
Can you manage it?
If reelected, I will give it my attention.
Word of honor?
Tell me the motion's provenance, the reason you want it advanced, and if it doesn't hurt my standing in the House, I'll think about it.
Give it attention. Think about it. You can't pull that on me.
I am a United States Congressman, clothed in immense power.
No, you're not. You're not clothed in immense power.
Will you please let me finish?
Go ahead.
It is my duty, and moral obligation, I might add, to make sure my constituency is well served.
They will be. I need your trust, okay? Just trust.
Of course. Any woman who dumps me like smelly garbage has my trust forever.
And that's where we are, and that's where we're stuck forever.
You're using me. You took the assignment to use me.
That's not true.
Don't insult my intelligence. There is so much wrong with this. I don't even know where to begin.
The motion won't pass. Just bringing it to the floor for debate is a victory.
For me, that's a loss. Plus, I'll have to call in favors another loss to get a loss.
It's for a greater good.
Wonderful. Where's my good?
It's a noble effort. You benefit by association, the halo effect.
Halo? Are you crazy?
You'd pull a child away from a speeding car, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the kid's in imminent danger of death, but you're implying the same is true of our country. It is not. And even if it were, this motion won't save it.
I have to try, Jack. I can't stand watching you deadheads in Congress handle so many lives so badly. It is torture for me. I have to do something.
You're out of line, Jen.
You have your obligations, I have mine.
Way out of line. You see that, right? Journalists don't advocate.
Right, and God doesn't make little green apples.
Okay, I'll attach your name to the motion and you wear the freaking halo.
My name can't appear on the motion. That's how it has to work.
That's not how it works. I don't know what's in this thing, and I really don't care. But if you want to play the game,
It is not a game.
you take a stand. Put your name to it with an amicus brief. Show me courage of conviction. Then maybe you'll get my help.
I can't live my politics and work at the paper at the same time. I'll get fired. You know that.
But it's for a greater good, right? Or maybe the good's not so great after all. This motion of yours, do you love it? With all your heart and soul, love it.
Yes, I do.
Ah, well, when it comes to love, my dear, a heartache is always part of the price.
It's possible to live in the present, you know. Normal people do it all the time. That's how normal people make progress.
Excellent point. Let's try. We'll set aside the fact you're here to exploit my affections and continue. Was it an RDD I lost? A generic? An RSS?
The poll this morning?
I'm no good to anyone if I don't win.
Does that mean?
No, I'm not helping you. If I'm seated in the new Congress, you'll give me the particulars. I'll review the motion, then decide if it's worth my involvement based on the merits. I have my professional ethics and not much else. Do we understand each other?
Perfectly.
She approaches him.
You'd look so handsome in a halo. Right there, gilding your choreographed hair.
She fluffs his hair.
Do you henna? You should. I see a dash of salt in the pepper.
She touches his cheeks.
Also, if I'm not mistaken, your face is melting. A nip here, a tuck there. Think of the years you'll shed.
Stop touching me.
She places her hand flat on his head.
Remove the hand.
He removes her hand.
Your girly tricks may work on a maker of meatballs, but not on a man of blood and iron like myself. The pole.
She squeezes his cheeks into a cute duck face.
I think it's a Rasmussen.
Give me the methodology and I'll gladly comment. For the record, on poles and the dumbbells who designed them. Hillary in a landslide.
Jen looks at her phone.
There's nothing on my feed.
Jack hands her his phone.
Here, and check where Golden Boy is. I'm at a point now, I swear, I wouldn't mind losing to someone better than myself. But this guy, Jesus, if you drop your voice, he'll steal it. And his campaign manager's worse.
You know him?
You're so interested?
He's a mystery, isn't he? A power in politics, but hidden. It's weird.
Roger Clay's been a bagman for the party 20 years and one step out of prison for 40. You keep away from him. He's no goddamn good, you hear me?
Jack's phone, which Jen is using, rings. She instinctively answers.
Hello? Oh, your wife.
Hi. The keys are in the bowl on the fridge. Jennifer Carey. You remember Jen? Right. She's a reporter now for the great metropolitan newspaper. Leaps tall buildings in a single bound. The car needs gas. Drive carefully.
That was awkward.
Why?
I think she knew about us.
Laura? She's from Sicily. I would have woken up with scissors in my chest.
Someone knew.
Not her. The poll.
It's a phone survey, an RDD.
They are worthless. Where's Golden Boy?
Up to ±4 in a Reuters. Someone told, I forgot his name, the minority whip back then.
Kellerman.
Someone told him we were having an affair. I thought it was Nora.
Laura.
Or maybe Kellerman suspected it. Anyway, election night, we were celebrating at that ratty hotel when he cornered you. I overheard a bit of the conversation. What'd he say?
Nothing. He wasn't there.
Again, the memory flops.
You think you heard us? You tell me.
I was eavesdropping. The band was loud. It was hard to hear.
Where are you going with this?
You had an argument with him. An argument I'm positive he won. Was it about me? Yes, it was. Do I know why you were arguing? Yes, I do. Do I know specifically what you said? Not yet.
Do you need me for this conversation with yourself, Jen?
I'd like to know what you promised him.
I'd like to know what the hell you're talking about.
Kellerman was a moral scold. You were having an affair with a young staffer, and he demanded you leave me before word of it spread and destroyed your career. I understand the pressure you were under, and I'm willing to forgive, but I want you to admit what I already know. Just tell the truth, that's all I ask.
Okay, you're right.
I knew it. Oh, 5 years I waited for this.
Kellerman was a self-righteous, Bible-thumping hypocrite, so it was no surprise when they caught him pants down, holding his ankles at a truck stop in Jersey. He resigned months before I was elected, Jen. Your paper led with it.
I know what I heard.
The guy wasn't there. You heard what you wanted to hear.
That was the last thing I ever wanted to hear.
You brought irrational fears to an incident you misunderstood, then made up a story that confirmed them. And you wonder why we have problems with the press.
If it wasn't Kellerman, it was someone else, and you caved to him.
My wife was out the door when we met. You were a gift. You think I'd let you go because some jerk threatened me?
I heard what I heard. A fact is a fact.
Not if it's unfindable. Not if it can't be proved.
Jack, listen. I'll excuse a lot for ambition. I know how it possesses people, how it drives them. You, it's ridden like a horse. Sacrifices had to be made. I was one of them. I'm fine with that, believe me. The morality is in the aim, not the method. That's how I'm seeing it. And if someday you're able to do one good thing in the public interest, just one, while you still have a fighting chance, then it's worth all the heartache and pain you've caused me. Let's forget the past, Jack. I forgive you.
You left me and now you're forgiving me?
You got a problem with that?
I don't accept your forgiveness.
It's done. You're forgiven.
I'm the injured party. Me. I should be forgiving you.
You're forgiven. Case closed.
Take it back.
She grabs him by the shirt.
Forgiven, forgiven, forgiven!
A passionate kiss. Jen loses control. She slowly releases his shirt, crosses to her chair, and gathers pad and pencil, sits, composes herself for work.
I need a family update. I'm presuming your wife won't run off with her chiropodist until after you lose the election?
Podiatrist.
How would you describe your marriage?
Happy. Time's up. Thanks for dropping by. Come back someday when I'm dead.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not talking.
I have 1,200 words due a week from tomorrow. I have one. Happy. You need my paper's endorsement to win, Jack. That's why I'm here, to help. Allow me to help.
Okay. Help. Here's my family in a nutshell. Write down broken, write down neglected, and take this verbatim. With 2 kids in college, the congressman is now living so far beyond his income, he and his income aren't even on the same planet anymore.
2 kids in college. I take your suffering more seriously if you didn't seem to enjoy it so much. But you do, so I don't.
You made a big mistake with Golden Boy, every one of you, every paper, and now you're going to hear from me why.
If you mean the piece I wrote.
I do.
My editor loved it, and your opponent's so dumb he did too.
You gave him a pass. What's not to love? You reported nothing.
I treated him with the slight contempt he deserves. You see what he's like.
He presents as a fool, so?
If you read the piece closely, that's how I portrayed him.
He's not. I'm not a hero. He's no fool. And now you've lost the justification for challenging him on issues, on policy, stuff that actually counts.
He didn't talk policy when I was there.
Funny, I don't recall you putting that in print where it belonged.
And if I did, he's winning because your campaign stalled.
You're a bit wide of the facts. He's winning because he has a staggering amount of corporate money financing his campaign, and every dollar given is a favor he owes. No one gives their dough to a fool.
What do you want from me, Jack?
If he gets elected, corporate interest will guarantee his reelection. Then they'll push him right to the top. I know this with a certainty that defies any doubt. This guy is about to become a national menace.
What do you want?
Jack's phone rings.
Find the truth. As far as it can be determined, the truth. Do your job.
Jen speaks into his phone as Jen responds with alarm to a message on her phone.
Hello? Laura, calm down. What happened? If you talk Italian 90 miles an hour, I can't understand.
They published the story.
Wait a minute. Who? What?
The Post, the sexual assault allegation. It's in tomorrow's paper.
How'd they get it?
I don't know.
I'm back. Laura, the gas pump didn't slam into the car. You slammed into the gas pump. You're not hurt. That's all that matters. Is it drivable? Good. Check if the headlights work. We'll talk later. What page is it on?
3.
You can go now.
I finish the work I start.
I'm not a viable candidate anymore.
Control the narrative with an aggressive response. It works.
Maybe. For a while. But there's only so long I could deny this before I sound like a liar.
You have to defend yourself. I'll sketch out a press release, okay?
The damage you guys do. Unbelievable. With rights enshrined in the very Constitution I've taken an oath to protect. Who needs women? I'm fucking myself.
She made a claim. What do you expect us to do?
Vet it. Investigate. Consider motive and source. It's not that hard.
We did. They didn't. It's not my paper carrying the story.
They will soon enough, and they'll flog it till it's dead and I'm buried. This is meat and drink for you guys. It sells.
It's news.
It's a lie.
That's for the court to decide.
I'm looking at the court, the judge and jury. If facts don't matter, I can't defend myself.
Maybe you had sex with her and don't remember.
Absolutely. Could have happened while I was busy playing the trombone.
You're an attractive guy, well educated by going standards, a congressman. It's a hot package. I was seduced.
Not by me. I did not initiate.
Oh, but you did.
How?
We were sitting at a conference table, a bunch of us, and you reached across me to get a pencil.
That's it? I reached for a pencil?
Like this.
She reaches across him.
Were you in a rut at the time?
Probably. I'm rarely not. I've had sex I don't quite remember. I've had sex I don't care to remember. I've had sex that was not memorable. Sex that was...
Okay, Jen, I have an early checkout.
The same may have happened to you.
Never. That could never happen to me. I have
Morals? Is that the word you just inhaled?
No. Yes. No. We've led different lives. That's all. Your life is fuller. Much fuller.
If I were you, I'd stop digging the hole you're in.
There were no others. I wouldn't compromise myself. I wouldn't disgrace my office just to get laid. I'm not like that. I don't even like people like that.
Congressman Iannelli, tell me about your failed marriage, the one-night stands, and all those scrumptious babes you banged like a dinner bell.
Jesus Christ. Didn't you hear what I said?
Unless you have a strategy for answering our obnoxious questions, that's going to be your life. Get used to it.
You must really need me in Congress.
I want you to bring that bill to the floor.
You mounted the wrong horse, pal.
All you need is a fair shake in the press. Assert your innocence without condemning the accuser. It's the only way. Stop drinking.
This never wouldn't have happened if I were a woman.
Goddamn right. It's only the men in office who can't keep their ass in their pants.
You are the last one to talk about pants control.
How many of your colleagues were censored, indicted, or thrown out of Congress for screwing around?
Enough. I should suffer for their sins.
We have. You guys are so busy trying to screw us and each other, you forgot how to craft sensible bipartisan legislation. Apportion tax revenue for the common good and get out of our way. It's not that hard. I can pull my grandmother off her farm in County Cork and she could do the job.
A little windy up in that ivory tower?
She crosses to him with her glass.
Soapbox. I left the tower when a tide of shit hit the walls.
He pours her a drink.
Stop drinking.
This isn't the end for you. Not by a long shot.
Says the executioner.
Nothing happens unless the gray lady says it has, and as far as I know, my paper has not said a word.
A phone rings.
Hello? He's right here.
Please do not tell me she clobbered another gas pump.
It's my phone. And my editor. We're publishing the story.
No.
Be nice.
Jack takes the phone.
Morrison! I am doing fabulous. 3 weeks to the election, I couldn't be better. And you? Oh, wonderful. Excuse me a moment. Jen, sweetheart, make the noose a little smaller. That's perfect. Now, tie the rope on the chandelier and get me a nice tall chair. You were saying? How many years I'm feeding you stories? How many years I'm giving you fill because your reporters can't even find the freaking house and this is the thanks I get? No comment. Not now, not ever.
He hands the phone back to Jen.
Hi. Yeah, he's a little upset. Send me the picture. You're sure it's her? I'll call before the deadline. Where are your kids?
My kids?
You heard me.
One's in college somewhere, the other's in college somewhere else.
Not New York? Wake up!
Ann Arbor and South Carolina.
They'll have access to my paper, but not to the Post. Wouldn't it be nice if the story has your denial? Just so they don't think Daddy's a total sleazeball? Make sense?
I don't know what makes sense anymore.
Grab that pad, let's sit on the couch.
Jack does as directed. Jen sits beside him.
I want a claim of innocence in bullet point. Every reason you can think of. I'll put it in final for the paper.
I'll have to reach to get the pencil. Can you control yourself?
Right.
Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2. At Rise, Jen is typing on her phone while referring to the legal pad Jack used a few moments ago. Jack is talking on the phone.
Are you standing in front of the car or in back of the car? It's a front tire getting flat. It must have been damaged in the accident. No! Do not go near another gas station. Call AAA from the parking lot. There's a donut in the trunk. That's what we call a spare tire. Right. A donut is like a bomboloni. But we don't call it a bomboloni in America. Laura, if you tell the tow truck guy you have a bomboloni in the trunk, he won't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm not yelling. You see what I'm up against?
She needed you and you failed her. You have a history of that behavior with women.
For the record, my wife is planning her honeymoon with Dr. Footsie. If she wrecks the car, if she runs over a kangaroo, falls down a well, call him.
Being needed is a good feeling. Maybe you don't know that because you've never not been needed.
I'm surprised you feel that way. You seem so complete.
What way?
No one needs you.
I'm needed. I get 100 messages a day. Your wife asked for help, you yelled. That's all I said.
That's not what I heard. I heard loneliness. I heard regret.
Can we change the subject, please?
I'd like to finish my thought.
I know what you were thinking, Jack, and I don't want to hear it.
Oh, really? You can read my mind?
Yes, listening to you is redundant.
Okay, what am I thinking?
Something stupid. You're always thinking something stupid. Did you tell her you're about to be slammed in the press on a sex charge?
Oops.
Tell her.
That's a 3-hour conversation. And by the way, don't interfere in my marriage.
Marriage. 6 lines of outrage and injured innocence.
She hands him the phone. He reads.
Morrison said he'll print your statement as written. He likes you.
Friends like him.
The Post forced his hand.
A newspaper isn't Twitter. He had time to spoil his readers with the truth.
Noted. So, good, bad?
Perfect. Thank you.
He takes her hand in a romantic grip. She shakes it.
You're welcome. He's waiting.
You wrote this for me.
Yeah?
If I send it, you're not a reporter anymore. You're an agent in my service. Can you live with that little thought in your coffee cup every morning?
Is your statement true?
You know it's true.
No, you told me it's true. I've written the best obtainable version of the truth from a primary source, and when I get a competing version from your accuser, I'll write that too. That's my job. I decide what I am, me, no one else.
People need you. I'm scared to get near you.
Maybe you like timid women. Nothing wrong with that. Men found them very attractive during the Crusades.
I like them emotionally open, not clad in armor is nice too. I'm nearer their heart.
Them, you come off like a monk.
By them, I mean you. The once upon a time you. Remember her?
I do. And I remember how it ended between us two, which was pretty horrible. So let's not chase something we can't have. I'm a reporter. You're a politician. We don't belong in bed together.
That's not in the Constitution.
It's an unwritten law I'm honor bound to obey.
You violated how many standards of ethical journalism just writing these 6 lines?
Oh, don't remind me.
And what about the pursuit of happiness? That's in the Constitution. Are we pursuing our happiness by denying what we feel?
Actually, it's only recently the courts are considering that right as an instrument of personal fulfillment rather than a public duty to live a virtuous life.
I'm familiar with the argument. Answer the question.
Why can't you leave well enough alone?
Because enough is never enough. That's why you're so lonely and miserable.
I am not. You keep telling me what I am.
I'll concede the election to Golden Boy. Once I'm out of politics, we'll take each other on a short lease. You'll be at the paper in DC and I'll find a job there teaching law.
A job where? You're up on a molestation charge, and they're not hiring at Trump University.
That's a practical consideration. You didn't object to us living together. Why is that?
You might be in jail.
You wouldn't be here if you thought I was guilty, and you couldn't think of one good reason for us to stay apart.
Wrong and wrong.
It's true. Admit it.
You want truth? Withdraw from the race and you're ruined. You have no future, no career, and no hope of either. Clear your name. You're nothing without integrity.
Clear my name. I'm a politician and a lawyer.
It's possible to sink even lower. Fortunately, while you had your head in your ass, I made a plan.
I already have one, thank you, and I bet it's better than your stupid plan.
What is it?
First, tell me yours.
How did such a bad liar get into Congress?
I was elected with the good ones.
Morrison put me on the story
When?
when he called. My sympathies are with the accuser. I know harassment. I've been up against it one way or another since junior high. But this woman's allegations, something is wrong. Which does not mean she's lying.
She filed the charge at the beginning of a news cycle, 3 weeks before the election. Think of the planning that went into that coincidence. They want me out of the race. There's no other explanation.
What's it called when two parties stand to profit from a criminal act?
Is this a trick question?
No.
Bipartisan legislation.
An overt criminal act.
Symmetry of interests.
Put me in touch with your opponent's campaign manager.
Roger Clay? No.
Okay, I'll ask Morrison to arrange an interview.
Clay doesn't do interviews.
If you call, he will.
Why?
He'll see it as you fumbling to get information. He'll think my questions reveal what you don't know. That's gold to him. I want a face-to-face tonight. If your accuser is lying, he's behind it, and I'll suggest I have proof. If she recants her story, then indicates criminal deception, filing a wrong report, whatever the charge.
False police report. It's a felony.
I'll have to dig for evidence. It's work, but doable. What do you think?
This is a huge story for you. Roger Clay, the great white whale of dirty politics, finally gets hooked. Byline above the fold. And what's better? What's better than that for an ambitious reporter like yourself?
I'm playing a few angles, yeah. I have a career. What's the problem?
There's no problem. I'm not competing with your ambition. I just want to know where I stand.
Could you be this blind? When Clay falls, he takes your opponent with him. I'm helping you.
And you're helping yourself too. Let me explain about Roger Clay.
No mansplaining, please. Just call him.
You're going up against someone who's not human. He's meat with teeth and a will to win. I could name half a dozen people whose life he destroyed just for getting in his way. You think he's gonna roll over just because you put the arm on him? Look what he did to me.
I can take care of myself.
At City Council, that's a playground for pickpockets. He's a stone cold criminal.
I've given you a path to re-election, Jack. Take it. Make the call.
Rather I lay bricks than see you ruined.
Let me get this straight. You're sacrificing your career to save my career by ruining it. Clay's the go-to guy for presidential campaigns. Catching him is the scoop of a lifetime.
Let me explain something.
I don't want an explanation.
There's that which you know, there's that which you don't know, and that which you don't know that you don't know.
E-I-E-I-O.
I'm not ruining your career, I'm defending it. What you don't know is that in the fullness of time, you'll see I had only your best interests in mind and you'll thank me.
That is the ripest bullshit I have ever heard. You're trying to control me. It's tyrannical benevolence. I barely survived my mother's. Now I gotta get it from you.
I made a decision and I feel comfortable with my decision.
Jen grabs a fork from the table and approaches him.
You're gonna feel a lot less comfortable when I stab you right up the frickin' nose with this fork.
Jen, calm down for God's sake.
You don't know what's best for me, Jack. You're a member of the United States Congress.
I resent that remark.
We'll have no arguments. The story is a Pulitzer waiting to be won.
Drop the fork.
Where's your phone?
I lost it.
It's right there.
Jen responds to a text message on her phone while Jack picks up his phone.
Morrison wants your statement denying the sexual assault. Do that first, then call Clay for the interview. Get that done. You can't see. Put on your glasses.
I'm getting a little sick of you telling me what to do. Back off.
He fumbles blindly, hits send, gives his phone to Jen.
What did I do?
Oh, lovely. You sent the sex charge denial to your wife.
I did?
Yeah, Einstein, you did. I just sent it to Morrison.
She's gonna call me.
You can bet on it. Okay, let's concentrate. We're running out of time.
She'll go completely berserk when she reads it. She's a nut to begin with.
So what is she gonna do? Yell, it's your future in jeopardy, not hers. Your wife is marrying a doctor.
For the foot! The foot!
Okay, relax, the foot.
He's not a real doctor.
I understand.
If you went to him with a heart problem, you'd die of a heart problem.
The phone rings.
It's Nora.
Laura,
Here, tell her I died of a heart problem.
you tell her.
Ciao.
What'd she say?
I'll never see my sons again.
They're away at college. How often do you see them?
Not too often. And when they're home, only if their batteries are dead.
So what's changed?
Nothing.
Sit.
He sits beside her.
Now it's my turn to explain. Are you paying attention?
Yes?
Tell Clay a friend of yours, a reporter, has a few questions of general interest. She's a demographer. She worked for me in a previous campaign. Pitch it like a personal favor. So it's clear you're lying through your teeth. Think Kellyanne Conway.
I can't.
Of course you can. We'll practice.
It's better I sue my accuser for defamation. Our justice system actually gives justice, you know.
She'll drop the charge after the election when you're on the street with a cup in your hand, and my chance to get Clay is gone. It's now or never. Make the call.
I can't. Ambition, I encourage. Self-annihilation, that's just crazy.
You're saying I'm crazy?
No, Jen, you're a woman. Women lead stressful lives, and it shows.
Oh, keep going. This I gotta hear.
Inequities in the workplace, punitive shoes, always worried what your ass looks like. The stress turned you savage. How else to explain the attempted fork attack, the unprovoked yelling at me, your inability to accept my informed opinion as a basis for rational behavior? I can go on, but I won't. To understand is to forgive. Like you forgave me, I forgive you. Now we're even.
You don't see another reason for my behavior?
No.
Guess. Grant me access to the man brain.
You're premenstrual? Postmenstrual? I'm stumped.
I know why I slept with you. There's an attraction. I can't deny it. I can't explain it. It's just there. My question, and I hope I don't offend, is why the fuck did I vote for you?
Congratulations, you've proved yourself a reporter.
Thank you. Or I'm sorry.
You ask a question that's all insult and injury and have no interest in an answer. I can just picture you with some poor soul whose family got wiped out in a mudslide. So tell me, how does it feel?
I don't do human interest stuff, Jack.
Do you have any interest in humans?
No, just politicians. A freelancer thinks he got a shot of your accuser when she filed her charge. When I get it from Morrison, I'm gone.
To Clay?
Yes, before my deadline, with or without your help.
She stands.
You'll never get past his gatekeeper.
Watch me. I'd like to speak to your chief of staff.
Why? For that magic legislation of yours?
You can do that for me, can't you?
That I'll do.
He rises, gets to the phone and reading glasses.
I always make good on my promises.
If not in the season you made them, I can't be named on the bill.
You told me.
Tell him or her.
Him. Kevin, a woman who forgot her name will give you the number of a bill stalled in the House. Review it and call me when you form an opinion.
He hands the phone to Jen.
Hi, Kevin. I'm not his friend. I hate him. Do you have a pen handy? HR 552. Thanks.
Hands him back his phone.
Is he any good?
He knows the game. He's weighed and assessed the players. He's good.
Where's your money coming from?
If this bill's about amending campaign finance laws, I'm telling you right now, it ain't getting out of the gate.
You'll have to counter negative press if my plan with Clay doesn't work. And it's going to cost. Individual contributions. Start there.
The only people in my district with money are tourists who took the wrong subway.
Did you get the 48 grand from the National Party?
It's discretionary. We're guaranteed nothing. And that's exactly what you got if you didn't vote with the herd.
Which you didn't do, so I'm still wondering who's footing the bill. A pack of 527? What?
Yeah, something like that.
He grabs a menu from the table.
I'm starving all of a sudden. I have meatballs and spaghetti. You love meatballs.
You mortgaged your house again. I don't understand. From campaign 1 to campaign 3, you learned nothing?
You don't understand. My district contains the world's most precious commodity, cheap labor. And all the big donors want very much to keep it that way. If they can't coerce people to work for peanuts, they bribe us to do it for them. The big shots came to me. I tried to justify taking their dough. I couldn't.
Their intentions were corrupt. That's your justification. Once they give the money, they can't take it back.
It's not right.
Who gives a fuck if it's not right?
Me.
You want to claim a moral victory in defeat?
It's unethical to take money under false pretenses.
Offering was unethical. Taking was smart.
Morality isn't conditional. One makes a choice and sticks to it regardless the consequences.
Oh, stirring words. I am transfixed with admiration. Are you down from the clouds now?
Yes, I've descended to your level.
Make a few concessions to reality now and then, Jack. It helps.
I should act like the people I hate?
How much ethical money is left?
None.
You just answered your own question. Okay. About 25% of registered voters in your district go to the polls.
Less. That's why the meek won't inherit the earth. They don't vote.
That's a separate issue. Figure 1/4 of that population is roughly...
15,500. I ran the numbers.
Say the scandal brings you down 9. How do you make up 9% of 15,000 3 weeks before the election with no money? And don't tell me you'll go door to door.
I'll make 50 good impressions a day for 21 days. That's what? 1,000 votes? Now I'm even, plus or minus 3, and I'm back in the hunt. You're looking at me like I'm on a ledge.
You're a hope fiend.
I have a well thought out plan of action, and I intend to execute my plan of action. There's no hope involved.
You're telling me. 25% means only 1 of 4 doors will open to a voting household, if it opens at all, and the sex charge will greet you at every one. If you don't get me into Clay's office tonight, you'll lose the election, probably your house, and I'll have 0 chance to get that bill on the floor.
The House sits 435 people. Half of them should be arrested for loitering. Pick one. They'll have time for you, believe me.
You know I can't do that. And they'd have no feel for it. Only since the lower classes got into Congress has this kind of legislation even been possible.
Wait a second. You think I'm lower class?
You grew up in the district that elected you.
And your father was a fireman. What are you, the Queen of Bensonhurst?
Oh my God, you're so sensitive. You're too precious to exist.
We don't have a class system in America.
Nobody thinks we do. That's how it survived.
Even if that were true.
Of course it's true.
One should have the decency not to mention it.
Politics is division. Let's acknowledge at least that truth. Draw the lines and fight. We outnumber them 100,000 to 1.
We? Where is this we?
You preached the causes I'm fighting for. I learned them from you.
Draw the lines and fight, I never said, reporter.
Not in so many words, but the message was clear. We all heard it.
Am I keeping you from anything? Dinner date, yoga class, maybe you want to invade Poland.
I'll be gone soon enough if that's what you want. It's hard to tell. You're not the same person I knew.
Neither are you.
It's not the problem I'm trying to fix. I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem I'm trying to fix.
I am?
I don't know. I don't know where you stand anymore.
In plain sight, Jen, I say what I mean.
But what you mean has no relation to what's coming out of your mouth. While you were at a bank mortgaging the house, a super PAC bought your opponent.
Bank lobbyist. I told you about his cash reserves.
If he's elected by the banks, he'll have the power to make laws that deregulate them, then buy their stocks and get filthy rich.
Corporations are people. Money is speech. Take it up with the Supremes.
That cipher will hold your mortgage. Grasp the insult.
You could have exposed Golden Boy as a shill for corporate interests when you had the chance. You didn't. You covered the politician, not his policies. You failed. He conned you. He conned all your friends, and now it's too late.
You're giving up?
I issued a statement. I'll do a press conference tomorrow in Washington. I'm not giving up, and I'm not sending you to get slaughtered by a thug. That's not gonna happen.
Jen grabs her bag.
Since when is my well-being such a big frickin' deal to you?
What are you talking about?
At the party election night, you were told to dump me, and you said you would. That's what I heard. That's what you said.
To Kellerman?
Yes.
Again with him? He wasn't there. It was a long shot. No one of any consequence came to that victory party. Why can't you admit you made a mistake and wasted all these years?
I can't admit that. Besides, I don't make them. Where's my phone?
You're holding it.
Oh. I won the election for you. This person you revile as a reporter wrote all the PR, made sure you had full event coverage, bulled her way into newsrooms with leads for local reporters. Without me and the press, there'd be no Congressman Iannelli. We made you.
And you made a nice career for yourself in the process. Can I be of any further use? Perhaps you'd like one of my internal organs as a parting gift?
She stands before him, packed and ready to go.
No, thanks. Mine work. Goodbye, Congressman.
So long, reporter.
He sits, puts his feet up on the coffee table and texts on his phone. She walks away, stops and turns.
Are you going to stop me?
Would you mind closing the door, please?
It's closed.
From the other side.
He continues texting.
I'm sorry it's ending like this, Jack. I really am, but I suppose it had to because, well, let's face it, you're an imbecile. Did you hear what I just said?
Jack's phone rings. He answers. As he speaks, she inches closer, her curiosity piqued.
Kevin. Yeah, that's the number for Bill. No, just give me your opinion. I thought so. The road to hell, exactly. Maybe she ought to open a paving company, right? Listen, expect some bad press tomorrow. I'll explain later, but get your resume in order. No rush. Bye.
What'd he say?
I thought you left.
Tell me what he said.
It's a non-issue, totally irrelevant.
You're not gonna tell me?
Irrelevant.
Jen crosses back into the room, scans the floor for something. He looked up.
What are you looking for?
The fork.
Jack jumps up, finds the fork, and stuffs it into his back pocket.
You have this bizarre stabbing thing. What is wrong with you?
My mother would ask me that.
Let's sit on the couch and talk. Are you concealing any sharp objects?
No.
It's important we get to the bottom of this.
He sits, leaps up in pain, removes the fork from his back pocket, and sits back down again.
See what I mean? You ambush yourself. You sit on forks. A United States Congressman.
That was the first one I ever sat on.
If the guy in front of me at a deli counter orders 40 pounds of thinly sliced bologna, of course I'll want to stab him to death. What could be more natural? But I don't care about him. I care about you.
There are many ways of showing affection, Jen. Don't limit yourself to puncturing.
Jen looks at him, kisses him hotly, lingering on the lips. He wipes off her kiss.
You wiped off my kiss.
That's right.
Are you 5 years old? No one wipes off my kiss.
I did, and I'll do it again.
She kisses him again, violently and longer this time, restrains both his hands when he tries to wipe it off.
A congressman is here to do one thing: serve others.
Oh, yeah? What are the others here for?
To live their lives secure in the knowledge you'll make the right decisions for them.
My left wrist is bending incorrectly.
She releases one hand, holds the other.
Kevin wouldn't recognize compassionate policy if it tore his frickin' limbs off.
You never even met the guy.
Chief of staff, a desk jockey, scared of his own shadow. I know the type.
Kevin played football for Notre Dame. He's 6'2" and built by the same firm that did Stonehenge. Are you ever right? He advised me against sponsoring the bill so I wouldn't be ridiculed by my colleagues.
Jack crosses to the scotch.
Colleagues, you're among equals with the self-serving Jack.
We have a history. I count them as friends.
If their ridicule was the price for making the right decision, I know what I'd do.
You're not going to the house a lame duck with your reputation in tatters. I'd prefer death to more ridicule.
Does the bill have merit?
That's not a consideration.
That's not an answer.
The bill proposes huge changes everywhere, from campaign finance to corporate tax laws, changes that can't succeed for the forces arrayed in opposition on both sides of the aisle. We're not there yet. We may never be. It won't work.
You don't know that.
I am positive it won't.
Does the bill have merit?
Yes, okay. Yes, we need it. And maybe someday someone braver than I will bring it to the floor. At present time, it's a fool's errand, and in the off chance I am elected, bringing it will absolutely condemn me to a final term. Can't do, pal. Sorry.
Supporting any legislation is gonna hurt. Politics, right? You have to find the ones worth suffering for. It's the same way we pick the people we love.
We don't pick them. They're chosen for us by a secret ballot, and there's no appealing the election. That's why I'm stuck with a stress test like you.
That's a very nasty statement, and it's not even that true.
Come on, Jen, you know what you're like.
I'm not easy, I admit it. I can't afford to be, but I'm here for you.
Loaded with motives, but here, I'll give you that.
In your darkest hour, I lit a candle.
Thank you.
A little appreciation, candle blower.
I said thank you.
Mark my words, tomorrow, when the shit hits the fan, your colleagues, those friends, will cross the street when they see you. Then comes the real darkness. And you'll only have yourself to blame for the choices you made, the life you half lived. You'll be a pathetic shell of a man, alone and miserable, crawling the earth, praying for death.
Do you get invited to many parties?
Lots.
Jen responds to a text message.
But only ground floor parties, right? That way, when you talk to someone for like 2 minutes and they jump out of a window, they land safe.
You don't deserve me.
I know.
There are plenty women who want you for the wrong reasons. I see how they look at you. I want the person you were, the crusader. Him I want, the better you. And I'm getting him back.
Wouldn't it be easier if you just wanted me for the wrong reasons?
No. Morrison has the photo of your accuser in his possession. He's checking with legal. When I get it, I pay Roger Clay a little visit.
The devil himself. Smart move, Jen.
Can't wait to meet him.
You'll never give up, will you?
Never.
You'll press on and on, fighting and fighting. Why? Why? Where are you going?
Crazy question.
If you can't imagine the results of victory, fighting is crazy. Where?
To the place I need to be.
Which is?
I'll tell you when I get there.
Stop meddling in politics. Stay in your lane and learn the job. A few years in DC, you'll be ready for television, the highest hokum of all.
Actually, I've given that some thought.
You have the brains for cable and the legs for Fox. Brains are a liability at the latter, but still. Depends where you want the most exposure.
From the neck up.
Are you still sharing on Facebook?
No, Jack, I'm using Western Union.
And Twitter, Instagram?
All of them, all of them. What's with these questions?
I'm helping you make a career decision. How many photos of you snot flying drunk?
Oh, about 2,000 to 3,000.
How about dancing like an idiot?
That's how I dance.
Any with illicit inhalations?
Probably.
Clay will use them. He'll pick the most degrading images and pair them with quotes from your work at the paper. Quotes ripped from bloody from their context. You'll appear deranged, a woman sick in the head with booze and drugs. It's a machine. He feeds it people who threaten him to punish, discredit, and humiliate. This is the fight you will lose.
And I'm the buzzkill?
You need evidence. At the very least, a nexus between Clay and my accuser.
I'll go with what I got when I get it.
You'll have nothing, a picture.
Stop worrying. Stop making less of me than I am.
No one's so tough they can't be taken down.
True for me, true for him.
That's it. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm done. Whatever happens, and I guarantee it won't be pretty, tonight I will sleep without guilt.
Where?
Where do you think?
Jen points to a door.
That's the bedroom?
Yes. The room the bed is in. Guess where the bath is?
Is it a pillow top mattress? We have time.
Don't start, Jen. Please, I'm not in the mood.
They're so comfy. Surface quilting, a thickness of foam, springy things, all that American engineering just to give us pleasure.
They're made in China. What am I going to do with you?
I'm surprised nothing has come to mind.
You said we don't belong in bed together.
I was speaking in the abstract.
She holds his hand.
I understand you don't want to fool around. You've been under a lot of pressure.
That's not it.
Jack pulls his hand from hers.
Fine. You want to fool around? My lawyer is 3 blocks from here. I'll call him. You sign whatever documents I need to prevent future litigation. I'm ready.
You're afraid.
It's us. It's the kissing and the yelling. It's on, it's off. The relationship, it's impossible.
People argue. My parents love each other. They argue. I bet yours did too. It's healthy.
They fought when my father was in a hospice. That's healthy? We've been arguing in this country 240-something years. Our Constitution was designed for the purpose and effect of argument. In Congress, it's exhausting. In a kitchen, it's unbearable. My parents could not be in the same room. It was like they had a prenuptial disagreement. I swore that would never happen to me.
Why would it?
Us. I'm worried if we begin again, we'll be like this forever.
Well, that's up to you. The only thing wrong with our relationship is you.
That's not true.
I'm a journalist. I have powers of objectivity you simply do not possess.
That's not even close to true. You're a journalist.
Listen to me.
She takes his hand again.
I see a good man here. Afraid, but good. What would he be like if he wasn't afraid? I'll tell you.
Can I answer for myself, please?
No, you'll screw up the answer. He'll live by what's highest in him. He'll make decisions he knows in his heart are right for the people who elected him, who put their faith in him. And that's all I want. I'm the same person I was 5 years ago, and so are you. Beneath all that encrusted political junk is a magnificent David defending us from the corporate Goliaths. He's there. He just needs a little bit of chipping away to emerge. He needs me.
A chiseler.
If that's how you wish to characterize someone who works on a head of stone, sure.
I can't win.
Voters don't vote. Politicians would pay for the joy of selling themselves, and big businesses want us dumb. If I don't hold you to account, who will?
Me?
Jack pours himself a drink.
You? I can barely keep one step ahead of your reputation. Be glad I'm back in your life and grateful you're lucky in love.
Jen responds to a text message.
Thanks for clearing that up, Jen. To look, a much maligned lady. What?
I'm at Broadway in 187th. The Uber is running late, so I figured I'd spend the time wisely and get drunk. Neighborhood bar in a not-so-good neighborhood. Sitting at a back table, as far from the window as possible.
She takes a picture from her bag and hands it to him.
That's him? You took a picture, so?
I showed it to Morrison. He had a hunch and decided not to publish our piece. The Post changed his mind. Look again.
He looks at the picture again.
It was the junkie.
You don't know her?
No.
How do you know she uses?
I'm getting stoned just looking at her. I bet she was pretty once. She still is. This kid's in dire need of a social worker. Oh, what's she doing with Roger Clay?
She's the one who filed the assault charge.
She hands him her phone.
Here's the photo the stringer took. I just got it from Morrison. See? The same girl coming out of the 17th precinct.
He places the phone and picture side by side to compare.
That's your accuser. That's Clay, and there's the nexus.
He made the kid a felon. It's photoshopped.
Check the back. I had it printed and time-stamped that night, 9 days before she filed. They conspired to commit a federal crime. He'll have her recant her story. He has no choice.
He was in Cincinnati. That's a lookalike.
I took his American Express receipt when they left. Now can I get that rat bastard?
I couldn't stop you if I tried.
What happens to the kid?
I know a prosecutor in the Southern District. He can help her. Clay, he will stand on line to kill.
She puts on her coat.
You have a chance at re-election, a good one. I'm not doing this quid pro quo. I have my own reasons. You make your own decisions, okay?
Okay.
Jack fixes her collar.
Scared?
Very. And I like it.
She kisses him briefly. They hug. Then she crosses to exit.
When are you leaving?
Tomorrow morning.
I'll be back.
Shall I call my lawyer?
No. An ambulance.
She exits. He thinks for a long moment, grabs his phone, and dials.
Kevin, that bill we discussed?
Blackout. End of play.
Great, great. Excellent. Thank you very much for everyone who shared their talents today in the name of IATI Theater. We really want to thank everyone here. First of all, I want to do some acknowledge that we have Tony Manzo here, who was a playwright. We also have Jennifer Ortega, who directed this reading. Thanks, Jennifer, for joining us and for doing all this. And of course, I want to acknowledge the cast. Jen was interpreted by Andrea Lynn Green. Thank you, Andrea. Jack was interpreted by Derrick Peterson. Thank you, Derrick. And then the stage directions were done by Sophie Sorenson. Thank you, Sophie, as well. Because everyone is joining here, not only from the cast, but also Tony. Let me just start quickly with Tony. I wanted to just to, Tony, if you can hear me. Yeah, there you go. You have your camera on. Great. Tony, can you just give us a little bit insight about this play? Like, when did it start for you? What was the motivation? We'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Well, the motivation was after Trump was elected. I knew a play had to be written about that because an educated electorate couldn't possibly have elected him. So I knew there was a play there somewhere, but it's almost impossible to write it's almost impossible to, and I also wanted to couch it in, I also wanted to write a romantic comedy, which was very important to me, but I couldn't do it unless I couched it in some political dimension. And that's how these two characters came to me.
Great, thank you. And I'm gonna just also pass it off to Jennifer. Jennifer, I know the experience doing this type of readings for us it's being the first time also that we, put this Zoom system ready to do these things because we can't really meet on a theater, normal theater. But how was experience? And more than that, I also have a question directly to you. How does morality fit into all this? Like, this is a great, topic for the play.
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I just want to leave it open. So if you can give me any insights about like the process, how it was for you to direct this, of course, being the first time we do this virtually. And I have a specific question also, like how does morality fit in all this? And how do you, work that out during the work that you did with the actors?
Well, first we read the play several times just to get the feel of the play and to get the characters down. And then the actors worked by themselves, via Zoom to really hone in on what the playwright was looking for. And then the second part of the question was morality. The morality of the play?
Yeah. How does it feed into everything? Yeah.
How does it feed into it? Well, love is a complicated thing, and it's not I would say it's not just one dimensional, it's layered, you know, and it's layered with a lot of nuances and layered with lots of, you know, power, struggle, loss, grief. And I think that was what they were, that's what they were playing. But they did a lot of work on their own. So I would say, I mean, everything from what, you know, the background to the costumes was basically the actors' ideas, because we're not in the same room.
Great, thank you. And I want to also acknowledge that Lisa is helping me to co-host this. Thank you, Lisa. You're being also checking on Facebook. If you have any questions that were recorded, by all means, just bring them up. And of course, I want to follow up with the actors, because I know it's been a process too. I want to get your insights about your characters. How do you build a character also? I mean, there's just so much on each character that you can talk about, right? I guess being a teacher, also being a politician, also being a father, also being, you know, someone who has a lot of power, and also Jen being a student, but also being a lover, but also being when we part of a press too, which is so important as well. Like all these things mixed up together. How do you handle working on your characters with all this, you know, guidelines, if you can say it like that? Jen, do you want to start? You're muted.
Okay. I really enjoy this character, Jen. I could find a lot of ways to relate to her, and it was just a fun character, and there's a lot of history for the actor to discover throughout this play about her and the relationship with Jack, and how she has evolved into the person she is now. I found really interesting and fun to explore. And then there were elements of the character that I'm still wanting to explore, that are still like sticking with me, like all these like the wilder streak that she has. It's really interesting to me. And it's fun. She's very dynamic, this character, and it was a good role. So thanks, Tony.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Derrick?
Yeah, you know, they're both such, you know, full characters that it's really hard to jump in for a reading. So it's kind of, for me, I had to pick really what I wanted to focus on, and the easiest thing for me as a human is to just kind of focus into the love. So I tried to use that as the driving force for the play, and kind of and work on the relationship between Jack and Jen. That was that. And then the other career stuff, I was just kind of really hoping that it fell into place. I mean, I do have my, you know, Derrick's personal ambitions, and I can pull that in, you know, but hopefully it came through there. But really for me, it was about the relationship with Jen, that I felt like that had to be the focus, and especially after talking with Tony and Jennifer and realizing what was wanted from the play. So that's how I went through it, through the relationship to get there. And you know, it's been a challenge in this format, in the Zoom, like trying to read the script as we go. And I'm just praying that the little bit of rehearsal we did stuck in there, because I was several times I'm just like, oh, I don't know where what page is this? Where am I on what did she just say? Am I on the right screen? So that craziness, you know, hopefully the little rehearsal, it came through. But, you know, and I love Andrea, so that's easy.
Well, good job. I didn't even notice when you were reading. Like, you felt like you got it like all the time. So good. Yeah. And because I want to give voice to everyone, Sophie, I want to just ask also, how was the dynamic to get this done through virtually? I mean, I don't know if it's the first time for you as well, like it's being for everyone else here, but if you can just help us to, you know, to see a little bit of what the process was, and how did you feel, you know, yeah, that you were part of it?
Well, I miss being in a room with people. I think as actors and as theater goers, that's, you know, part of what draws us to it. So there's that I miss, but what's cool with this is that it's live. I mean, and that does add a dimension that I think is needed, at least the Zoom readings that I've also watched. I enjoy the element of knowing that it's happening live. But then on the other hand, like, you know, you got to roll with the punches. So this is where we're at. So it's just wonderful to be, even if we're not in the room together, it does feel like we are together and that we meet around a script. And to, you know, since I'm not interpreting anything in this situation, it's wonderful to watch Andrea and Derrick do their work and to witness a creative process. Because it does change from the first. I mean, even if it's, you know, this is not an extensive process, but it does, there is process, and it's wonderful to witness. So I think we have to continue meeting and listening and sharing and performing, and I think it's very important, more now than ever. But yes, I do miss being in a room with my fellow artists.
Yeah, tell us about, right? Like being in the space is just like so unique. But we're very thankful to Zoom also that at least give us a chance to
yeah, no, it's
Mhm.
it's better than nothing.
Great. Lisa, you wanna join me in any of the questions? You want me to formulate the questions? But I'd like to hear your voice too.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. I definitely enjoyed it. And we are getting tons and tons of love via Facebook. We have from Andres Lopez Alicea. He says, congratulations, Tony. Jennifer Avery Robinson says, bravo. And Rebecca Hairston has a question. It says, I have a question for the playwright. Was the play written before 2016?
No, it wasn't written before 2016. As I said before, our president now is just so horrendous. It's unimaginable that the Americans were tricked, and I think a lot of the trickery had to do with the media and the press played a huge role in the election. The president, I guess, was inevitable. But had we been given the right information, had the media, especially the press, you know, the working press, had given him more attention, had they gone deeper into his background and been more explicit about his failures, perhaps we wouldn't be in the situation we are in. I'm not blaming everything on them, but it wasn't written before. It was written around about 2 years ago. I wrote it, but it was percolating after I saw him descending the golden staircase. So yes. That's when I started writing it. And by the way, it's not specific to its time. I think these questions have been plaguing American politics for a very, very long time. But the ascension of Donald Trump and everything that has happened in his administration has brought it much more clearly into focus. So a play like this should be made, I think, and I'm glad I wrote it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tony. What a treat again. And I think we do have one other message from Jennifer Avery Robinson. She says, did not seem choppy at all, Derrick. You both seemed connected. And there was chemistry, tension, and momentum despite the challenges of Zoom. Great eye lines too, to be technical. Eduardo Briseño loved it. Congratulations, Tony. And that's it. That's all we have on Facebook for now. Back to you, Miguel.
Okay, I have a question. I think I want to address this to Jennifer. There's a question from Tom Block. I am curious how the development process aided slash changed the play and how much reworking Tony did. But I also wanted to know, Jennifer, through the process, if there were any things to change, any things, or that you have to talk to Tony about.
There was mostly clarification, like clarification about the motive of the actors, of the characters, and just word clarifications, the things that were that maybe just didn't come off the page, just clarifications.
Got you. Tony, any rework you had to do? How do you?
I did surprisingly little. There were a couple of lines that were cut, and as Jennifer said, a couple of things that had to be clarified. But most of it is as it was presented. Not much was changed. Listening to it, there are things I would change, and this is why the process is really very, very important. You know, one of Hemingway's characters said, in I think it was a short story, "A man alone don't stand a chance," and that's especially true in the theatrical world when it's a collaborative effort. You know, it's no coincidence that the theater district and the garment district is abut each other. Everything is, we stitch things together in the exact same way the garment industry does. And without a collaborative effort, without people who are willing and able to take on this very, very difficult work, it would be impossible for one man to do alone, anyone to do alone.
Right, thank you. And I think I have the last question. I think it's also directed to Tony, that this is William Ivor Folks. The title of this place has changed since you first brought it to Cimientos. Will you please explain that journey?
The first one was Status of Forces, but it stumped. And so I thought in Congress, but that's not a good title either. I was thinking of State of Affairs. I don't know. If you have a good title, somebody tell me. But no good play ever had a bad title. I mean, think of it. You can think of it. Any great play always has a great title. And it's not because the title is great. It's because you associate a very, very good play with, I mean, Long Day's Journey into Night is so morose, but yet a fantastic play.
Definitely.
So yes, I need a good name for a play.
Definitely. Okay. Okay, guys, and I want to leave this open for you. Any comments, any more, anything you want to say, anything you want to add to what has been said before? You're welcome to jump in and talk to us a little bit more about that. Jennifer?
Well, I wanted to thank the actors. Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job. It was, I really enjoyed it.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. This was a really cool experience.
You're welcome. And thank you, Tony, for your words. I mean, they're right on.
I would also like to thank Sophie and Derrick and Andrew, Lynn, and Jennifer, and you, Jennifer, and Winston, and Miguel, and Guillermo, and Lisa, and everyone at Cimientos. All my colleagues have been very, very helpful. And it was fun working with them. It was a great experience.
How about you, Derrick? Anything to add?
Not really. No, I had a great time. I wish there was much more time to dig into Jack and flush him out fully. So yeah,
Well,
who knows? Maybe next installment.
yeah. Well, this Cimientos is also like we're trying this. I don't know, Tony, if you had ever a reading from this particular play before, but that's what Cimientos is. We're bringing this new place to be alive, at least for this part of the process, and then we'll see. Of course, from here, I hope it keeps growing. It's
Thank you.
magnificent to see that happening.
Miguel,
Yes.
I am getting a message from Vivian DeAngelo. She says it was amazing. You guys made her night. Thank you so much.
It was our executive producer, but thank you, Vivian. Okay, well, thanks everyone, and really, I really appreciate your time, your work, your effort. I know I've been witnessing other processes as well for this particular Cimientos, and I know it's been also challenging to be really far from each other, but still putting something together. I think is very, very great to accomplish. So I will leave you guys with that. Thank you from IATI, from everyone else who's joining this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon, hopefully. I just wanted to say quickly that tomorrow we have another plate, of course, because the whole week is going to be sort of like in the same schedule. We have Ordinate by Robert Monaco. So please tune up at 6 p.m. Either on Facebook or Zoom. Join us for another one of these great readings. And yeah, we'll hope to see you there. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Bye now.